Hey, what's up guys? I'm pepperplume and this is Game Analysis Breakdown for Pokémon Red, a series where we walk through the entire game piece by piece, talking about what they did right and what they did wrong. Obviously, I won't be able to get through the entire game today, so be on the lookout for future videos. Now choose your favorite starter as we dive in to see what makes Pokémon Red, Pokémon Red. So the first thing you see when you start a new game is Oak introducing himself to you, the player, and then literally asks for your name. It's clear from the get-go that the game is trying to make you assume the role of the character. In other words, you're not playing as some character. Instead, you actually are that character. Notice how they show you this trainer sprite to convey that this is your representation in the game. After you name your rival, Oak addresses you again, stating that you, not some character, will have an amazing Pokemon adventure, and we see the trainer sprite shrink into the smaller sprite that you'll use throughout the game. This little transition, although a bit odd, shows you that this guy, which is you, is also this guy, which is also you, in the Pokemon world. The entire introduction is designed in a way to get you, the player, to understand that you are a part of the game's world. So after the introduction, you're placed in the center of your room, which acts as a movement tutorial where you're free to walk around. In fact, the exits are cleverly placed to force you to explore the entire range of movement before leaving the house. At the start, when you're placed in the center of the room, the stairs leading out is on the top right, forcing you to go right, up, and right. Once you're down the stairs, the exit is placed on the bottom left, forcing you to go down and left. So before you leave the house, the game has had you move in every direction possible. The house also teaches the player that these areas are interconnected, and that you have to physically move around to get anywhere. For example, you start on the second floor of your house, with the stairs connecting you to the first floor. The door on the first floor connects you to Pallet Town, and Pallet Town connects you to either Blue's house, Oak's lab, or Route 1. Compare this to a Mario game where you can warp between worlds and the transition is instant. In this game, you have to walk to get anywhere. Now the most complicated component of your house is the PC. Interestingly, if all you do is mash A, you will eventually acquire a potion. Now this isn't by accident. In fact, the menus are designed so that the most common action is selected by default. It's clear that they intended the A button to act as select or accept, and B to act as cancel or back. For example, let's walk through getting a potion. A takes you to the main menu. A selects withdraw, A selects potion, and A selects amount. In all these menus, you can clearly see a cancel item to exit out of any particular menu segment. The B button has the same effect, and even works on the segment that doesn't have a cancel. I argue that this A and B relationship was the intended design to begin with, and that these cancel items were added to allow players multiple options to navigate the menu. I have two issues with this PC design. The first is the word choice. As a kid, the intended audience, I didn't know what the words withdraw or deposit meant. In fact, only through trial and error was I able to piece together that the word with the W meant put things away, and the word without W meant get stuff out. My suggestion is to have simpler language like leave in box and take from box. The second issue with this particular PC design is that it's a simplified version of every other PC in the game. Every other PC has an extra menu layer at the start, allowing you to select between Pokemon or items to manage. I understand that you don't have any Pokemon right now, but the fact that this PC sets the bar that it just handles items only to have every other PC in the game do more, I argue is inconsistent and bad design. Final piece in your house is the dialogue coming from the Super Nintendo, your mom, and the TV. They all share the common goal of getting you out of the house. Hitting A on the SNES has you playing a game within a game and ends with, okay, it's time to go. Talking to your mom, she'll say, all boys leave home. It says so on the TV. And checking out the TV, you'll see boys on a railroad track, which is synonymous with adventure, ending with, I should go too. Everything in this house is telling you to leave and have an adventure. Leaving the house, we're introduced to Pallet Town. The main idea of this little town is to show you how to explore a city. and they cleverly show you the boundaries of the city in order to do that. For instance, right outside your house, if you go one tile left, you'll see the west wall, prompting you to go right. Between your house and Blue's house, if you go one tile up, you'll see the path out of town. Say you go and explore Blue's house. From the front door, if you go one tile right, you'll see the east wall. Finally, when heading to Oak's lab, if you go one tile down too many, you'll see the south wall. From this little adventure alone, the game has shown us that the exit out of town is north. There is also this parallel in the dialogue between your house and Pallet Town. In your house, everything is telling you to leave. In Pallet Town, everyone is talking about Professor Oak. Your mom says he's looking for you, Blue says Grandpa isn't here, and his aides introduce themselves as Oak's aides. From this, we can determine that Oak is a pretty important guy, who also can't be found anywhere in town. The only way to find him is by attempting to leave Pallet Town and triggering the cutscene. This is an interesting design choice. First, why does he look like he's coming from my house? Second, why not have him be at his lab waiting for you to approach him? Let's take a minute to analyze and compare the two. Say we find Oak and acquire our first Pokemon. We don't necessarily know what to do or where to go afterwards. We'll end up leaving his lab thinking, okay, now what? This is bad because the player has no sense of direction, and it's a complete surprise when you go to the tall grass and encounter a wild Pokemon. Compare that to Oak finding you. You know where the exit out of town is because you were on your way out already, and Oak tells you wild Pokemon live in tall grass, so we know to expect something when we walk on top of it. There's some clear benefits to Oak finding us instead of us finding Oak. That's all I got today. Crazy to think we're not even out of Pallet Town, and yet there's all this stuff to analyze. If I missed something or you think my analysis is off, feel free to drop a comment, and if it's as good as you think it is, I'll make a video with a well-earned shout out. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.